I'm basically going to do a video today just talking about God and my relationship with God, and then my second video is going to be my painting, and then you'll see why I did this video basically, because I never really had a chance to talk about like how I found God and such a strong bond. Like, I love God so much in my heart of hearts, like I really do. It's been hard because I didn't really have the support of my family, kind of they were kind of worried about me going to church and stuff. A lot of people were worried because I guess they find it kind of like cultish. And so they were worried that I was going to get brainwashed and kind of get lost in it, and that they were going to lose me in the process. But I have to keep telling people, like, I'm still me. I'm still me. I've had a lot of friends like support me on my journey, but I haven't really had a lot of my family supporting me through it. Like, I wouldn't say that they like disapprove of, but they're kind of not like supportive, if that makes sense. Like, they haven't gone with me actually to church. Nobody saw me get baptized except one person who I love very much. He got to see, well, he didn't actually get to see it, but he was there with me, and it was just so special that he was there, and it was the best day of my life. Like, that was one of the happiest days of my life, was getting baptized, and now my kids want to get baptized, so I'm like so happy about that. But I need to look into that, of course, to get that process going. But I'm going to share something with you. I'm gonna go get it. Okay. So this is one book that I was doing, and this book is amazing. So I haven't finished the whole book, but basically it asks a bunch of stuff in it, and like how God works, and it just kind of gets you, like, I've done a lot of writing in this, but I still have finishing up to do with that. And then this is a journal that I bought when I turned 30 2 years ago. I'm 32 now, and I just pretty much I basically filled the entire journal up with every time I went to church. Every week I would go like twice a week to church, and I would write passages in the Bible that we learned for the week, and then I would write about like what the preacher was talking about, and what it meant to me, what the passages meant, and how the preacher would explain it, because you got to go to church in order to understand the passages. And I love how our pastor is so real. Like, he talks about his problems in his relationship and just his struggles, he's even cussed before in church. He's just very down to earth, and he's very real, and I like that he's real and he keeps it real. I go to two different churches. One is more conservative, and then one is more like open, but I love them equally because I get something out of both of them. This is the one that has been helping me the most. It's called Hear His Voice. This one helps me, and it's so crazy because whenever I'm going through something, I'll read one page, and it's basically a letter that God is writing to you. And people don't understand that, because they're like, okay, how is God sending you a letter through a book? Or how is it God that's written the Bible when the Bible is new? But what they don't understand is that what they teach us at church is that like 500 something people wrote the Bible. Even murderers wrote the Bible, sailors, freaking people of every artist. I'm talking about every type of person in the Bible. So what they don't understand is that this is what they have taught us. Like, basically God will call on his people. He comes to those, and he'll basically kind of like, imagine, if you can just imagine with me right now, like God is coming to me. He appears in this room, and he's like, I want you to write a passage in the Bible. And so I'm like, oh, what? Like, me? Why me? But whatever reason, he called upon me to write in the Bible. So of course I'm going to do it. So I'm going to write whatever it is that God is telling me to write. So that's basically how the Bible gets updated, if that makes sense. I mean, you don't have to believe it, but I believe it because I always listen to what God's saying to me in my head. So that's kind of how these books and stuff get written. This is my Bible. I have it on my favorite page. One of my favorite verses is in the Bible is, let me find it for a second. Favorite verses in the Bible is, it says, I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit within you. I will take the heart of stone out of your flesh and give you a heart of flesh. Basically, that means that if you have a heart of stone where you can't forgive people, or you're angry and bitter, your heart has hardened because of life. Basically, you're praying to God that God will take that heart of stone out and give you a heart that is a heart of His, a heart of flesh, a heart of His Spirit. And He's taking that stone out and He's putting a new heart in place. And this heart is going to be a heart of love, of forgiveness, of joy, happiness, humbleness, like basically everything that represents God. That's what He's going to give you. And so that's my favorite, and it's kind of the prayer that I pray for certain people who I believe are struggling with that right now in their life, including myself. Like I always say that prayer to God, and I do believe that He has definitely given me a new heart. So this is the letter I read yesterday. A time to give, a time to receive. My child, in every relationship, effort must be exerted on both sides. You cannot always expect to receive without giving, and you should not always be the giver without receiving. It takes a balance of both parties. I know you feel as if you are given out more than you share. Little one, in every relationship there is bound to be conflict in this area at some point. Humble yourself. If you want the relationship to work and flourish, you're going to have to fight for it. The devil, as small as he is, will come to sow seeds of discord among you. His main goal is to see you separated. His ultimate desire is to see you unhappy. Do not give in to his tactics. I cannot stress enough the importance of giving your eye on me, like basically focusing my eye on God. And that's where I went wrong in my past relationships, is that I gave my full love, my full self, everything that I had, I gave it to that person. I gave it to the relationship, and then God kind of got forgotten in the process, when my eye should have been focused on God. Because when you focus your eye on God, basically everything, He basically will mend everything around you. Like, you're more grounded within yourself, so then you can be more grounded in your relationship and offer that in your relationship with your friends, with your family, with your lovers, with your kids, with everything. So my life was supposed to be God focused, and I lost track of God through my relationship. Like, I started going to church maybe once Sunday, and I started skipping here and there. So I kind of fell off the wagon a little bit, and this happens with so many people. So I cannot stress enough the importance of keeping your eye on me. In doing so, you allow me to bring everything else in order. Allow me, which is God, to be fully formed in your life, and delight yourself in my presence. Be happy. Be assured, I will give you the desires of your heart, your Father. So I kind of, and that's how it's written, I was feeling so lost last night, and just like God was not giving me the desires of my heart, because I keep praying and praying for this one thing, and I kind of wasn't feeling that. But these letters are kind of like a reminder that no, I haven't forgotten you. I'm still here. It's crazy how every single one of these letters have related to what I'm going through. And I just happen to read it. I don't even read it every day. I just read it when I'm like feeling like I really need God. Then I'll just open the book, and then it just happens to be exactly related on the subject of how I was feeling. And this was another one that I read last night. So I actually snuck in two. I read two. Child, I truly dwell in the midst of your praise. Do you know that I become the very thing of which you praise me? When you praise me for being God of provision, I become your provider. I then supply all your needs according to my riches and glory. When you praise me for being God of healing, I become your healing. It is so important for you to praise me in all circumstances. I did not say for all circumstances. It is not for my benefit, but it is to benefit you. In doing so, not only will you find peace, but you allow my light to penetrate your darkness, illuminate your life, and invade your present battle. I shall win it for you. As you praise me, you will experience true healing and deliverance. It does take faith to praise me in the midst of the battle. However, it is by faith that you acquire the victory, your Father. And it's true, when you're going through a battle, like how I explained earlier, when you're sad, when you're depressed, like what do you want to do? You want to lash out on God or people around you. Like, you don't want to praise them. It's hard to praise people when you're in pain. You're just like, God, like, why are you doing this to me? Like, where are you? You know, and you feel pain and anger and just hurt behind your anger. Anger is a mask, and underneath your anger is hurt and it's pain, and you want to lash out on even people, relationships, which I've done, and it's not purity. It's all the enemy. It's where the enemy wants to take you. He wants to basically take you there. But this is another letter, and this is the last one I'm going to read. Okay, so this one means so much to me, this letter. Allow me to be God, the name of this letter. My child, be patient and wait upon me. I know that you desire everything to fall into place now. However, the timing is not right. I am looking out for your welfare. You are not prepared for what you are asking of me. Little one, that does not mean I will not allow it to come to pass. My delays are not necessarily denials. I am preparing you first. If I were to allow it to be complete now, the effect would hinder you more than it would benefit you, I assure you. Your tenacity is admirable, but child, I desire you to use that quality in other areas of your life. For instance, in the area of seeking my perfect will for your life. Try to understand my reasoning. I am trying to spare you unnecessary pain. You have not even allowed me the time to work out all the details. Be patient. Did you know that I rejoice in the act of blessing you? Well, I do, your Father. That's my favorite letter, because I am impatient, and it's like I want things, and I kind of like want them now, and I get very depressed that it's not happening now, and like I do want to get married and stuff like that, and I do want to have a whole family. Like I'm a single mom, and I do believe strongly in kind of having like that bond, and I want to get a house and, you know, just feel grounded in my life. Kind of have that security, I guess. Another one of my journals is A Beautiful Heart, and this was given to me from one of my best friends. She's so positive. And so she wrote, I pray in agreement with every single prayer you write in this book, Matthews 18:20. For where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, I am there in the midst of them. Always have faith, heart, Athena. Never hesitate to call me. So she basically wrote that. And that passage means for where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, I am there in the midst of them. It basically means where 2 Christians or 3 Christians are gathered together, God is 100% in the midst of them. So whatever we're praying is going to be more illuminated, like it's going to be more powerful. The more that there are of us like praying, the more that God is in the midst of us and he's hearing us. So all it takes is just 2 2 or 3 or more, you know. And her daughter is an artist, and a very amazing artist, and she drew me this angel, and this angel just means so much. So it's like mother and her daughter. So I put them next to each other. This is my journal where I write to God, just basically for people in my life. I'm always praying for my sisters. I'm always praying for my brothers, for loved ones, for their family, for healing for them, for my family, for all of my friends, for their children. I'm always praying in my journal, or praying like, God help me with this, or God help me with that. So another thing I ended up buying was this. This is the last thing I'm going to share. It's so freaking beautiful. Like, I'm an artist, so oh my God, this is so pretty, this Bible. Like, it has the most beautiful freaking pages. I can go on and on with this Bible. Like, it is so beautiful. Like, these pages are clear. Stuff in it. It says, I will display my holiness through those who come near me. And then it has like on the side where you can like highlight, and you can basically write your own passages right here. That's your favorite scriptures, and or decorate. You can draw, and as an artist, like, it's something I definitely would love to do. But they have like these see-through pages. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. And it just goes on with so many beautiful pages. And I got it at Barnes & Nobles. I spent about $65, and it's worth every penny. And it makes me want to read the Bible like even more. So this is going to be my starting Bible of where I'm going to read it, and I'm just really excited about it. And that's basically it. Nobody preached God upon me. It was just one day I was talking to my girlfriend on the phone, and I was just like, you know, we were both like feeling like we were struggling, and I was just, I don't know, I just threw it out there. I was just like, hey, I was like, why don't we go to church? Like, do you want to just go to church? Because she hasn't really been that often, and I haven't gone at all. So I was just like, hey, you want to go to church? And she's just like, yeah, sure. And so I was like, all right. I was like, hey, let's look for a church tomorrow morning. So it's funny, we ended up looking for a church. And we drove around, and we ended up going into this one church, and this one church was like a small family church. And so we parked our car, and then we saw like a group of like 10 people going in, and we were just like, no, I don't think this is a church that we want to go to. So we ended up leaving, and we went across the street because we saw this big temple. So we went to that church, and it's so funny because we walk in there, and all the women are dressed in dresses, and I had on something that was casual. It was dressy, but it was like a dress, but it was not like a, I don't know. It wasn't like the way that these women were dressed. So anyways, we go into this church with our kids, and we're both single moms, and we're in the church. And all the guys are dressed in suits, and it's a small church. And it's just like, it was so, like, I can't even tell you how uncomfortable I was, and how uncomfortable she was. Like, we were so freaking uncomfortable. Like, I wanted to get the heck out of that church. But we went and we sat in the front with our kids, and I opened up the Bible, and then she looks down, and she's like, oh my God. She's like, I'm like, what? And she's like, is this a Mormon church? And I'm like, oh my God, it is. I was like, oh my God, we're in a freaking Mormon church. And then she started like laughing, and I have nothing against Mormon people at all. Like, if anything, like, I love them. I have nothing against Mormon people, but I swear, I kid you not, every single person in that church was looking at us, and they were not friendly at all. There was this guy who had a seat completely open, and he didn't even want us sitting by him. And then the people in the front of the church, they were staring at us, and it was the pastor, and I swear, I'm not lying, he was giving us the most dirtiest looks ever. And Danielle was like, they're giving us the most dirtiest looks. So I was like, do you want to leave? And she's like, yeah, let's leave. So we get up and we walk out. We're walking down the aisle, and all of the people are like this, like no joke. Like they're just like this, looking at us like that. It was just not welcoming at all. And I'm not saying that every Mormon church is like this, but that Mormon church was the most unfriendliest place I have ever been. Like so judgmental. Like I felt like they were judging us so badly, and it was a really horrible experience. And my friend and I explained this. We wrote about it, we blogged about it, and we've had Mormon people come to us and they're like, oh my God, we are so sorry you had a horrible experience like that. Like our church isn't like that at all. And I totally believe them. Like I really do. I believe them. It's just a bad experience. So we ended up going to a huge church here in the valley. It's the biggest church here in the valley, and it's a Christian church. And as soon as we go there, everyone is dressed casual. Like, you know, some people are dressed in dresses and some people are dressed in jeans. Like everyone, it's a mixture of everyone. And they're just like, they're smiling at us. Like people are actually like, hi, welcome. Oh my God, it's so nice to see you. And then they gave us gifts. So they welcomed us. They showed us around the church, and just a total opposite. Like people are like, come sit by us, and just like, you know, nothing compared to that other church. It was just a total turnaround, and I knew that this is where we belong. This is where I belong. Like I loved it, and the band was amazing. The music was amazing. I loved praising God, and it was scary at first. Of course, when you go, it's very frightening. It's very scary. You feel kind of out of place at first, and you're just kind of standing there like tense, you know, while everybody else is just like praising God and just like that. Well, not everyone, but a lot of people are just like open. It takes a while for you to get to that place. The more you go, the more you conquer your fear, and you're not, like I go to church all the time alone, and my mom's like, how do you do that? How do you go alone when there's like thousands of people there? And I'm just like, well, I'm not afraid anymore. Like it basically gets you to conquer your fear. The more you go, the more less anxiety you have, and the more you loosen up and just, you know, feel at place. And then you no longer feel like, you know, you're the odd one out, because you're not. No one's really paying attention to you there. There's so many freaking people don't even remember you. And then I go to another church, which is with my girlfriend, and that one is like basically more touchy, like where we actually hold hands with our neighbors. We say like, hi sister, and you know, we hug people, and it's more, so it's whatever your comfort is, you know. So there's a conservative one, and then there's the other church, which is more like, you know, personal. And I love giving hugs. I love touching people. Like very friendly person. Like if somebody hugs me, I'm gonna let them hold me as long as they want to hold me. Like that's the type of person. I love giving hugs. I love giving love. Like that's who I am. If I sense that somebody doesn't want to be hugged, you know, I'll let go of them fast, because I'll sense, hey, it's not for everybody. Some people don't like being touched at all, and that's okay. It's just however you are as a person. So sorry for ranting, but yeah, that's basically it. That's my path and journey on God. And there's a lot more to it. Stuff I've seen, miracles God has done for me, how he's answered almost all of my prayers, like almost all. Like he's blessed me. I'm just like so thankful for Jesus in my life. I'm so thankful to God, and that's just my journey. So yeah, thank you for listening. All right, bye.